We go to St Andrews because it's our commentary game which has been off and underway since 12:30 on DAB Digital Radio. What's the latest from our commentator Emma Jones?
Again. It's Birmingham City 0, Millwall 1. A wonderful Kevin Nisbet free kick to give Millwall the lead. It did look as if Ryan Leonard had extended that lead with a powerful volley from a George Saville corner, but the referee's assistant's flag went up to say that there was a player offside that got a touch as it went past John Ruddy. Sean Hutchinson has unfortunately had to come off with an injury to be replaced by Wes Harding. We've got just over 5 minutes of the first half left to play, and it's Millwall who lead Birmingham City by a goal to nil.
Emma, thank you very much indeed. James Gowcroft alongside Emma for that one. Second half commentary right here on BBC Radio London. Let's go to St Andrews. Half time in our first commentary game of the day. It's Millwall taking on Birmingham City. Millwall leading halfway through the first half. Thought they'd gone 2-0 up. It didn't happen. But there's been some drama right at the end of the first half, Emma Jones.
Well, there has. It is half time here, but the drama was that Birmingham City rewarded a penalty with seconds left on the clock. So Millwall ahead through a free kick from Kevin Nisbet. Looked as if they'd gone 2-0 up thanks to a brilliant volley from a George Saville corner. However, it took another Millwall touch on its way in, and the referee's assistant raised his offside flag. But as we were heading towards half-time, in added on time, Sarkic, the Millwall goalkeeper, pulled down Anderson inside the 18-yard box. The referee pointing to the spot with very little doubt. Scott Hogan stepped up. Sarkic went the right way. Birmingham City have been really poor in this first half, and that penalty save kind of summed them up. They're going to have to improve because at the moment Millwall are going to take away all 3 points from here. Birmingham City 0, Millwall 1 at the break.
James Gowcroft with you, Emma, at this moment in time watching that first half.
Yep.
The stats are really interesting because, you know, with your stats can be so deceptive, because we look at it here and I'm looking at it going, oh, well, Millwall have dominated possession, dominated efforts, not on target necessarily, but that doesn't necessarily mean they've been that good, James.
No, I'd say probably the stats possibly are true, but if I'm honest here, it's not been a great first half of football. It's been very poor. The home side, Birmingham, have been very, very poor. There's a lot of unforced errors. The crowd are just starting to get on their back a little bit. I think they can play a lot better. There's been a lot of passes go astray, etc. Millwall have just been solid. They've dug in, they got their chance, they took the goal quite well. They've had a couple of half chances, but they're probably better set up. I think they've got bodies behind. I think they've pressed the ball well. They've been good on transition without either goalkeeper really being that busy. They had a massive let-off at the end with the penalty, which was they should never have given it away. I think Gary Rowett will be confident in the second half. If they can keep going and get this second goal, the next goal is big. They possibly could get 3 points here.
And that would be really, I mean, after all that pressure supposedly on Gary after 3 games because of the loss to Reading, which was poor, I have to admit, in the League Cup, and then only shot on the target from Bristol City, and they lost that one in a game that should have ended 0-0. Those are the sort of results that started building a little bit of pressure, but they pick up, what, 9 points from the first 5 games, I think. Is that right? If they were to get 3 points today, that's a really good return.
It's a very good return, and listen, results this time of the season can change very, very quickly. You can go from the bottom half to the playoffs, etc. But you know, if that is the case, they're nearly averaging 2 points a game, and that'll be more than good enough.
Yeah. Go and get yourself a cup of tea if you can there at St Andrews. The pair of you back with James and Emma for the second half of that here on BBC Radio London. Full commentary to come. And our commentary game, the first of the afternoon, is going to get off and underway shortly for the second half. Birmingham City 0, Millwall 1. Millwall thought they were 2-0 up. They are effectively 1 goal up anyway because of a penalty save, so maybe the chalking off and the penalty save chalk each other off. James Gowcroft and Emma Jones are at St Andrews. Second half commentary coming your way. Can Millwall seal the deal and get this one over the line? That's the big question.
Well, we'll wait and see. Both sets of players are out, waiting for this second half to get underway. It's Zian Fleming who kicks us off for this second half. Millwall are in their away strip of I've described it as traffic cone orange for this one, because Birmingham City, of course, also wear blue and white. No changes to either side at half-time, but I can tell you that Sean Hutchinson, the Millwall captain, had to go off with an injury in the first half, about 32 minutes into the game, to be replaced by Wes Harding. So that was a change that was forced on Gary Rowett, but apart from that there have been no other changes. But with 30 seconds of this first half having been played, there's another Millwall player down and in need of some treatment. A few of his teammates are around him. Hogan is the closest Birmingham City player to the player who's down injured, so it might be he who was guilty of the challenge that's led to this early treatment to a Millwall player on the far side of the pitch in this second half. John Ruddy in goal for Birmingham City. Janino Bakuna, Dion Sanderson, their captain, Kevin Long and Lee Buchanan in the defence, Christian Bielik, Ivan Suchik, Keshi Anderson, Cody Drama, Jay Stansfield and Scott Hogan making up the 11 for the home side. I think it might have been Zian Fleming who was the player who was down getting treatment, but he's fine as the resulting free kick is taken by Murray Wallace just inside his own half, and then it's picked up by Bakuna, who tries a quick cross in from Birmingham City's right hand side, hoping to find Hogan, but Ryan Leonard gets there first. Sarkic in goal for Millwall, the goalkeeper having fouled Keshi Anderson as we headed towards half time. The referee pointed to the spot, but then he saved the spot kick from Scott Hogan. Jake Cooper, Wes Harding and Ryan Leonard now in front of him. Sean Hutchinson having to come off with an injury. Murray Wallace and Brooke Norton-Cuffy, the Arsenal loanee, on the wings. George Saville, Billy Mitchell, Zian Fleming, Tom Bradshaw and Kevin Nisbet, whose goal in the 6th minute from a free kick separates the two sides, are the team that Millwall start this second half with. Also, Ryan Leonard might have thought he got a second goal. Great corner from George Saville that was volleyed in, or looked to have been volleyed in by Ryan Leonard. But Jake Cooper then celebrated the goal in a way that suggested that, well, he got a touch as it went in via him, and so the referee's assistant raised the offside flag. Picked up here by Buchanan, still on a run. Buchanan managed to get away from Mitchell. Birmingham are trying to burst forward here, but Hogan ends up doing a somersault, James Scowcroft, and we weren't impressed with them in the first half, and we're waiting to see if they improve at all in the second half. Not that we care, of course, from a Millwall perspective.
Got himself in a good position there. Hogan made a run into the box, edge of the box, gets the ball to feet and just, I don't know, just almost falls over. There's a couple of members of the Birmingham crowd just starting to get on his back a little bit.
One of the advertising slogans at half-time around the ground here at St Andrews was #undefeated. 18,710 the attendance here at St Andrews, but Birmingham undefeated in the league ahead of this game. But Millwall leading at the moment. Little shove by Sanderson on the back of Nisbet on Millwall's left-hand side. It'll go out of play. In fact, it's a free kick as a result of that. Just in front of the part of St Andrews that's still under a little bit of reconstruction. So the stand opposite us, the bottom tier of that, is off limits at the moment. Any balls that end up in there have to be retrieved by somebody in a tabard, as the free kick by Millwall, I think, again finds Jake Cooper
he's offside this time.
Ball rolls out to Buchanan. Buchanan forward to Bielik, former Arsenal player, of course, spent some time at Charlton as well. That's where Saturday Sport is being hosted this afternoon by Phil Parry, with Charlton having sacked Dean Holden. Jason Pearce in charge this afternoon. Our 3 o'clock commentary comes from Turf Moor, where Tottenham are today to take on Burnley. Here, well, Birmingham wanted to take a quick throw in, but there are there's at least 100% more balls on the pitch, James, than there needs to be. So
need one.
Yeah, be fun with 2 though. Into the 50th minute of the game, the Kevin Nisbet goal in the 6th minute means that Millwall have the lead at the moment. Gary Rowett, of course, a player here and then a manager, and I think many people felt he was rather unfairly sacked. It was a change of ownership at Birmingham City that led to him being replaced by Gianfranco Zola when Birmingham were, well, sort of definitely in the playoff mix at the time. Hogan tries to get on a pass for Birmingham down the right hand side. Harding watches it back. It'll go out for a throw in. Birmingham with a chance maybe to launch this into the 18-yard box from the right hand side. The referee says it needs to be taken just a little bit closer to the corner, as it is. Suncic is there to collect it short, picked up by Bakuna, then played into the 18-yard box. This is a chance, and it's the equaliser, and it's Stansfield who gets it, twisting and turning in from the right-hand side. Jay Stansfield strikes it past Sarkic, and it's all square here at St Andrews. 8 minutes into the second half. Birmingham City 1, Millwall 1.
It's against a run of play, but I think it's Birmingham's best player. Stansfield's been excellent, and it's a brilliant finish. Great run into the box, takes it early across the goalkeeper. It's almost a goal out of nothing. I thought the next goal in this game would be big, and I think that might just swing it back for the home team.
They defended so well, Millwall, in the first half. Birmingham, the chances that they had, well, they didn't take them. They were off target. They had that penalty that was saved by the Millwall goalkeeper just before the break. But that Nisbet free kick had largely silenced these Birmingham fans, who are starting to sing a bit more now. Millwall, though, keen for a quick response. Good strength from Norton Cuffy. Comes out to the left-hand side. Murray Wallace, just with a second's hesitation that allows Birmingham to shut his effort down. Played forward again, quickly from Millwall. And after having conceded that goal, they're really keen, aren't they, to get back ahead as quickly as possible, James?
Yeah.
Gary Rowett is on the edge of his technical area. He's screaming and shouting. I don't know who. I think maybe Norton Cuffy is about the only player in his earshot, I would suggest, at the moment, but he is howling about something. The fourth official has come across to have a word with him. Unsurprisingly, the Millwall manager expressing some frustration, having seen his side concede a goal in the early stages of this second half. Jay Stansfield joining on loan from Fulham, had a loan at Exeter where his dad had played last season, and scored the late winner for Birmingham here against Plymouth last weekend. Has added another goal in a Birmingham shirt early in the second half here. 1-1 at the moment. Stansfield is the player actually who's just got a clip inside his own half. It's a free kick that's turned back to Anderson and Long. And the Birmingham City fans now have something to sing about. Buchanan now racing down the left-hand side, flicks it out to Hogan. Hogan chips it into the 6-yard box, sticks to the gloves of the Millwall goalkeeper. And Birmingham, this is kind of how they started the match, James, but then they fell apart quite quickly in the first half.
Sort of reactive to the crowd and the direction of the game. Hogan's offside there, he's never be offside. Yeah, the club's got momentum. I don't think it's a great Birmingham side. I think that the colleague on the Birmingham radio said this. It's not a team that's probably going to get into the top 6 this year. But just a little bit of hard work. I think they've upped the tempo in the second half. The crowd responded. And sometimes in the Championship that can be enough.
Goals elsewhere, I can tell you, at Sheffield United 2, Everton 2 in the early kick-off in the Premier League. Sunderland, Southampton also kicked off at 12:30. Sunderland winning 4-0 at the moment in that game, and it's Swansea 1, Bristol City 1 as well. 2-2. The latest score is here. Well, the referee has got his yellow card out. And I think Harding might be the first player to go into the book.
He's
James.
just late. That's all he is. He's doing nothing. Just late.
Well, he comes across to check on the Birmingham City player who's down, but Wes Harding, who had to come off the bench, the player who started his career at Birmingham City, is getting a yellow card, and it's Scott Hogan who's still maybe... I'm just trying to look at which bit of it his leg is bothering him. Possibly his right knee. But the referee, I think, has decided that he doesn't need anybody to come on with a magic sponge or anything other than that. He's shown Wes Harding a yellow card. Birmingham City have been awarded a free kick, and Hogan is back up on his feet. Player who played, of course, at Brentford in his time, got sold to Aston Villa by the Bees for £9 million. And Bristol City ahead at Swansea now. Swansea 1, Bristol City 2. So now the latest score from elsewhere in the early kickoffs in the Championship. Here, Anderson goes down. And the referee says that was a foul by Norton Cuffy, and a yellow card as well. I've got to say, James, that's harsh. I thought that Anderson was losing his balance.
Yeah, I agree with you, Emma. We're getting to that stage of the game now. I think the referee's done very well today. But you start giving yellow cards, there's going to be a flurry of them, I think. The game's very competitive, the atmosphere is competitive.
Bit more noise made by the Birmingham City fans. The free kick taken short by Bakuna to Anderson, who then rolls it out to Bakuna, who's got Norton Cuffy to deal with on the left-hand edge of the Millwall box. Comes back to Bakuna, whose low drive is watched all the way to Sarkic in the Millwall goal. Maybe the Wes Harding yellow card was fair, but I was going to say, as Anderson went down, that he was already clearly losing his balance, and it took very little from the Arsenal loanee to see him drop down onto the pitch. But the referee has remembered where his cards are, Josh Smith, and so he has shown 2 yellow cards in the space of a couple of minutes to Millwall players. 1-1 here at St Andrews. Kevin Nisbet with a free kick 6 minutes into the game. Ryan Lennon thought he'd got a second for Millwall, but it got a touch off Jake Cooper on its way past John Ruddy, and that meant that the referee's assistant raised his flag for offside. Scott Hogan with a chance from the penalty spot just before the half-time whistle went, but Sarkic, who'd given away the penalty, was then there to save it from the Birmingham City number 9. And then in his second half, Jay Stansfield has given Birmingham City their equaliser. The last 4 games between these two sides here have ended in draws. 1-1 at the moment. Anderson and Long with the ball inside, deep inside their own half, goes out off Drama. And we're waiting for a first chance, real chance of this second half, James, from Millwall, aren't we?
Yeah, they've not got going yet, have they? We're getting to that time, are we? Maybe. Substitutions. A couple of Millwall players on a yellow card. You wouldn't want to go down to 10 men.
A reminder that Ryan Longman and Alan Campbell are on the bench. If you're asking who they are, then they have joined Millwall in the last 24 hours on deadline day. Two new additions to this Millwall side. The cheers will tell you that Birmingham City are in possession and on the ball, pressing forward with Buchanan. Still with Buchanan. He's able to cut it back to Bielik. Comes infield to Suncic. Bielik again. Up the pitch to the goal scorer Stansfield. He wins it back, tries to get away from Mitchell. 360-degree turn from Stansfield. Does well to keep the ball in play. Gets away from Mitchell. The Birmingham City fans are on their feet, but the cutback doesn't find a Birmingham City player. Might come back for a second bite of the cherry. Stansfield's there. Sarkic has to save it. Wow, that was the Jay Stansfield show. It's still not away. Chance for a crossing from the left-hand side from Suncic. It's the big man, Jake Cooper, that gets his head to it. And it's a Birmingham City team that are growing in confidence, that have been awarded a free kick. Kevin Nisbet disagrees with that. Lee Buchanan went down. Nothing's going Millwall's way at the moment.
They are really. This game has changed completely.
Well, but for a save from the Millwall goalkeeper,
is by head and shoulders the best player on the pitch.
He's not letting anything go, is he?
No,
he's chasing balls that look like they're lost. He's finding his teammates when you think he can't find them. And he almost got his second of the game to give Birmingham the lead for the first time here at St Andrews. 18 minutes of the second half played as the free kick that I didn't think needed to be awarded is easily defended by Millwall. Will come back out to Anderson on Birmingham's right. Bakuna's there as well. The block is by Norton Cuffy and it goes out of play. Millwall though doing a lot more defending in this second half. Birmingham in the first half here, well, they couldn't find each other. Their passes were poor. They seemed to be clueless as to exactly what to do.
You just felt, Emma, that they've obviously done well this season. Their league position will suggest that. They were very, very poor second half. You just wondered that there's a lot more to come from this team and we're probably going to see it.
Long ball forward from Birmingham, cut out by Leonard at the back for Millwall. Now it's with Mitchell. Sliding in behind him is Anderson. Well, that'll be a free kick for Millwall. Anderson disagrees with that decision, but well, considering what the referee's given in the last few minutes, James, I don't dispute that is a free kick for Millwall. 1-1 here at St Andrews. Second half commentary of the 12:30 kick-off here. Then we'll be at the Valley with Phil Parry for all the build-up to our 3 o'clock games, which includes commentary of Burnley against Tottenham in the Premier League from 3. Might come down, Fleming strikes it with his left boot. Well, it took a deflection as it went wide of the Birmingham goal. The referee points to say that that's another corner for Millwall. A few boos for George Saville, who was being booed in the first half because he was taking a little bit of time, wasn't he, to go and take these set pieces. But he ran over for this one. He's got his right arm raised and it's a left-footed in-swinger to the far post. It's headed down into the 6-yard box. Jake Cooper, as you would expect, James Scowcroft was the intended target for that.
He gets the first touch, doesn't he? Keeps it alive. Such a threat for Millwall. Just starting to build a little bit of momentum again.
Signed a new contract recently. Jake Cooper has made over 300 appearances in a Millwall shirt. Harding with a throw-in. Cooper manages to get his head to it, but it loops up, almost dips under the crossbar. Ruddy collects and flicks it quickly out to the run of Anderson on the left-hand side. I was actually here to see the game in which Jake Cooper dislocated his shoulder. That was in December of 2020, and he carried on playing for the rest of the game. Paul Mortimer was my summarise. He said, well, he's obviously all right because he's carried on playing. He had dislocated his shoulder. So that's kind of what you're up against with this Millwall defence. As Hogan turns, he's encouraged to shoot 20 yards out, does exactly what the Birmingham City fans are asking for, and it ends up in the empty seats behind the Millwall goal. 21 minutes of this second half have been played. 1-1 here. Millwall had the lead at half-time. Jay Stansfield had equalised for Birmingham City in this second half. John Eustace, their manager, appointed in July of 2022, replaced Lee Bowyer, of course. John Eustace previously at Queen's Park Rangers. He was the assistant to Steve McLaren and Mark Warburton during his time in West London. There's always a London connection, James.
Always.
Millwall have a throw-in. 2 balls to choose from as Harding waits to take this throw-in on the left-hand side. Well, there was a little push on a Birmingham City defender who dropped down onto the pitch. I think Kevin Long also picked up a knock in trying to defend that. The referee's whistle will indicate that it's back with John Ruddy. Well, there's an international break after today for these teams. 16th of September, the next game for Birmingham City away against Watford. Their next home match will be against Queen's Park Rangers on the 22nd of September. Millwall can look forward to a home game against Leeds after this. I imagine the police have got that noted in their calendars, James. That's on Sunday the 17th of September. So it feels like the season has barely kicked off, but an international break after this weekend of Football League and Premier League football. Ball is with Nisbet, who gave Millwall the lead with that free kick in the 6th minute of the game. It was just left of square. It was really well taken. Perhaps John Ruddy might have done better, either sorting out his wall or stretching to get to it. He went the right way, the Birmingham City goalkeeper, but still it crept in. And so Nisbet and Stansfield both scoring goals in successive league games for their new clubs. That's got to be good, hasn't it, James Scowcroft, as a striker, to sort of, get goals early for a new team?
The start is very important, and getting off that mark and getting a little bit of just settling into the team, really, and knowing your place, that always helps.
Out to Norton Cuffy. Second start for the Arsenal loanee this afternoon. The sliding challenge was from Anderson. It leads to a throw-in which Ryan Leonard will take for the visitors. Few players warming up as the sun re-emerges from behind some clouds here at St Andrews. And it's Leonard who waits to take this throw-in. Finds that Birmingham City head, comes back to a lash strike from Saville. Well, it bounced to him just on the edge of the D. He struck it with his left boot, and it felt like it bounced kindly for Ruddy there in the end, James.
Yeah, it did. It could have bounced unkindly for him, didn't it? It didn't really seem convincing.
That may be the best chance that Millwall have had in this second half, as now Birmingham City stretch forward. still going as it's flicked out to Hogan. Hogan's cross is blocked by that wall that is Jake Cooper. And I think it might eventually have gone out for a Birmingham City corner. These have been rare things in this game, but they've got one that Anderson will take. Applauds the fans as he walks across to take this. Joined on a free, Anderson, previously at Blackpool and Swindon. And before this corner is taken, Jay Stansfield is the player who's going to come off. And Koji Miyoshi is the player who's going to come on. So that's the change that's being made. Well, we've been impressed by him in the time he's been on the pitch.
I think he's got an injury, he went down. I think he was excellent. I think he's been the best player. And that's probably a blow, that is, for...
Definitely a blow for Birmingham City.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, the corner came to nothing in the end, fortunately. Millwall will try and break. Norton Cuffey's on the left wing at the moment. Could bounce kindly back into his path. Mopped up by Bielik for Birmingham City. So Miyoshi, who's come on, another new addition to this Birmingham City side, formerly at Royal Antwerp before joining the Japanese international. Scored a goal in Birmingham City's win at Bristol City on the 19th of August, so already off the mark for his new side.
Ooh.
Ball is up in the sky. Comes back to a header up the pitch by the Birmingham City defence. Miyoshi gets one of his first touches. Leaning into him is Nisbet. Hogan tries to keep it for Birmingham City. It's a shove by the Birmingham City number 9. It's a free kick for Millwall. I'm not sure what's happening here. It looks as if the medical staff are poised to maybe come on, and is it Ryan Leonard who's suggesting that he might need some treatment? Instead, he's actually going to be the player who takes this free kick. But
it looks okay.
But it looked as if the bag full of tricks was right on the edge of the technical area, waiting for a thumbs up or down from the Millwall player, whether or not he needed some attention. And now it's a Birmingham City player who's gone down. Little check on a player just on the edge of his own box. Well, 0-0 here last season, 1-1 it is at the moment. Birmingham actually winning 1-0 at the Den when the two teams played on the 18th of April, and those 3 points were the 3 points that secured Birmingham City's place in the Championship. So that will give you some idea as to how much they struggled last season. Of course, Millwall were so close to getting a place in the playoffs, but for that defeat on the last day of the season. Here it's with Norton Cuffey. Norton Cuffey turns it from his right boot to his left. The pass forward gets a headed clearance by a Birmingham defender, still being chased by the young Arsenal player, and Millwall are going to make a double substitution. In fact, they're going to make a triple substitution, so please keep an eye on these for me. So Nisbet is going to come off. So Nisbet comes off. Danny McNamara comes on. That's obviously not like for like at all. The other change that's being made is Norton Cuffey is coming off. Alan Campbell is coming on, so one of the new signings comes on. And Murray Wallace is also coming off. And Ryan Longman is coming on. So the two players that signed on transfer deadline day are coming on. Ryan Longman joined on loan from Hull. Had a loan at Wimbledon in the 2020-21 season where he scored 9 goals in all competitions. Alan Campbell has joined on loan from Luton, part of that promoted squad last season, the Scottish player. Alan Campbell a midfielder, Ryan Longman a forwards. So we'll wait to see where they end up on the pitch, because
it's the same formation.
I was going to say, because they said Nisbet for McNamara, which well, that's not the case, is it really?
It's gone into a free kick, so it's a little bit difficult to tell at the moment, but I think it's just a freshening up by Gary Rowett, and I think he needed to do it. I think Millwall have been a shadow of what they were first half. They've lost control of the game, and at times they're sort of hanging in there. And I think Gary's had to sort of suddenly make a change to either stop that or try and go on and win the game. I still think they can win this. I still think there's a winning goal somewhere in the game.
15 minutes of the 90 to be played. 1-1 at the moment. Free kick for Birmingham City. It's some way out from the Millwall goal. So no need for a wall from this position. And Miyoshi is the player who waits behind it. In fact, Anderson takes it with his right boot. Thought Millwall might try and shepherd it out. Picked up by Long. Now Millwall do collect. Sliding in is Sanderson. Huge cheers from the Birmingham City fans for that challenge, as it goes all the way back to Ruddy to our right-hand side. Forward from Ruddy. But then watched out a play by Danny McNamara. James, have you been a player who's kind of signed, you know, you come on for your first opportunity. These players only signed sort of 24 hours ago. I think both Longman and Campbell have had a bit of training time with these players, but I mean, how difficult is it to kind of slot into a side so quickly?
It'd be very difficult. I think after this they've got the international window, haven't they, so they'll be able to get some training and a little bit familiar, but yeah, it's difficult. I think you just go on the knowledge that you've picked up in your previous games. But I think also as well they've had a chance to watch the game as well, so they can see the pattern of plays, the tempo of the game.
Ball here with Hogan, now picked up by Miyoshi. He's got 3 Millwall players to deal with, able to cross the ball out to Drummer on the right hand side. Now Millwall pick it up and just hack it back into the Birmingham City half. Just over 10 minutes left to play. 1-1 here at St Andrews between Birmingham City and Millwall on BBC Radio London Sport. Brought you Luton 1, West Ham 2 last night. We're off to Turf Moor after this for commentary of Burnley against Tottenham, and we'll of course be with all our other London sides in action on this Saturday afternoon. But 1-1 here in the closing stages, with Birmingham City having made a habit of scoring late goals in games recently. Little touch by Campbell. Doesn't keep a hold of it. High on Millwall's left. It'll go out for another goal kick for the home side. It's a third home game in 8 days for Birmingham City, having got that win here in the league, losing against Cardiff in the League Cup in midweek. If you're surprised you haven't heard the name Djukovic during the course of this afternoon, that's because he got sent off in that League Cup game, so is serving his ban this afternoon. In terms of Millwall's team news, they had no Joe Bryan at the start of the game through an injury. Sean Hutchinson having to come off in the 32nd minute to be replaced by Wes Harding, also with an injury. Crossed by Mitchell. Saville couldn't quite dip out of the way of that. It makes contact with his head on its way to Cooper. And now it's a ball that's played in from the left-hand side to a touch from Mitchell again. Millwall trying to build something on the left-hand side. Exchange of passes to find Cooper. Cooper plays it forwards. Chance for a cross in. And there was a player just in front of Bradshaw who can't get to that. Now it's actually Campbell with his back to goal. Tries to lay it off. He had players in blue all around him, and they're able to take it away. And as they try and break, well, Harding just comes across, and does he just about manage to keep the ball in play?
No, it's off for a throw.
Well, Anderson tried to get there first. Harding did instead. And Bakuna will come off. A change that's being made. Millwall are going to make another change as well. Romain Esse is the player who's coming on. Jordan James comes on for Birmingham City. And it's Esse who's the player who's coming on. And George Saville is the player who comes on. Romain Esse. Well, they're saying, who are you? But I can tell you, he is the 18-year-old who scored on the opening day in their win against Middlesbrough. So yeah, that's who he is. Pass forward to Hogan. Quickly, though, Leonard intercepts the pass. Scott Hogan did little to chase that, to be honest. And now it comes back to Suncic. About 7 minutes left of this game. 1-1 at the moment. Millwall had the lead at half-time. I think Jay Stansfield probably scored the equaliser at about the same time in the second half as Nisbet had scored his free kick in the first. Scott Hogan has had a penalty saved in this game as well. As things stand, we are heading towards a fifth successive draw between these two sides at St Andrews. And Birmingham, after 5 games in the Championship, can say that they remain undefeated. Both managers stood on the edge of their technical areas. A pleasant early September Saturday. I think the temperatures are expected to improve as well over the next day or so. Here the ball is with Campbell, given back to the Millwall defence. Now it's lifted out to McNamara on the right hand side. Eze gets a touch, loses the ball to Suncic, who races forward. Only Hogan in front of him. Hogan then holds it up, might find Miyoshi to his right hand side, back with Suncic, rolls it in, and it was Sarkic who had to get there first because there was a Birmingham City player behind him in the shape of Jordan James. If the Millwall keeper didn't get that, Birmingham City, I would say James had an open goal.
Yeah, they did, and they're lucky that they only had one player in the box as well. Both teams look a little bit tired now. I think they're still trying to get to maximum fitness.
Well, Birmingham had that League Cup game in midweek. Millwall already out of the League Cup after that 4-0 home defeat against Reading. But they are inside the Birmingham box here now. McNamara with the delivery, comes back to the right wing back, picked up again by the Millwall number 2 on the right hand side of midfield. Now it'll be clipped up and Campbell tries to get there. The 2-14s are battling for it. Anderson's trying to make sure it goes out of play for a goal kick and manages to do just that. Birmingham City getting themselves new owners in the summer. I think it's 50 days ago that they became the ownership of Shelby Companies Limited. And a certain Tom Brady is a minority owner. I was asking the commentator here from BBC Radio WM, whether or not he'd met Tom Brady yet, and he said, oh yeah, he's been here and he's been doing loads of interviews, because it's not as if he's not used to doing an interview or two. Here it's collected by James. Birmingham City have the ball in midfield. Lost by Drama, but collects it again. Millwall are trying to get the ball back. Comes across and it's McNamara who cuts across, gets his head to it to take it out away from Anderson. I mean, he's definitely been a pair of fresh legs, hasn't he, Danny McNamara?
Yeah, he's filled in very, very well, because Anderson's had a good second half, he has.
5 minutes of the 90. We'll have a few more minutes added on to that, but into the 85th minute of the game. The ball is with Bradshaw, given to Fleming. They have done very little really for Millwall in this game so far. Maybe they'll get an opportunity in these next 5 minutes. Ball comes in from the left-hand side. Birmingham City defending in numbers. One of their players is sat down on the pitch inside their own half. The rest of them are inside their defensive thirds. Millwall are trying to get through, and the boos are because Anderson is still down, and the referee is allowing Millwall to carry on playing. And now it's back in the possession of Birmingham City. It will be Lee Buchanan who rolls it out of play so that Anderson can receive some treatment. And it looks like cramp more than anything else, doesn't it, James?
Yeah, just fatigue. Both teams have fatigued. I think the game's dropped. Maybe both managers, both sets of players are starting to think, probably 1-1, we'll take it, we'll take the draw.
Do you think so?
Maybe.
I'm not sure if there have been any changes, have there, to any of the other early kickoffs. Still 2-2 between Sheffield United and Everton. The applause as Anderson just carries on stretching that left calf of his. It allows other players to come across and get a bit of hydration. Looks like Sunderland are very definitely heading towards a big win against Southampton, and still Bristol City 2-1 up against Swansea. Those are the other early kickoffs in the Championship this afternoon. We've got the build up to our 3 o'clock games to come at the conclusion of this match, including full commentary of Burnley against Tottenham. Then tomorrow it's Crystal Palace against Wolves is our commentary. That game kicks off at Selhurst Park at 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. You're listening to the home of London football, BBC Radio London. 12:30 kickoff here at St Andrews. It is 1-1 at the moment. 2 minutes of the 90 left to be played, and Birmingham City want to make another change. These 5 substitutions. I'll tell you what, the other day there was also a player who went off because of concussion, so I got 12 changes in that game, James, which does rather mess with your brain and your team sheet after a while. It's just a mess of scribbles at full time. Here it's Miyoshi wide on the right hand side. Millwall are trying to prevent him from getting the cross in. It's turned back for a delivery that is headed away by Cooper. Then it's Buchanan who races forward. It was bouncing high onto his left boots, and it goes high and out of play. And Keshi Anderson, who had that cramp a few moments ago, will be replaced. Emmanuel Longolo is the player who will come on. So Longelo, the player who comes on, former West Ham player, had a loan at Birmingham City before signing permanently. The Birmingham City substitutes are sponsored, and every time the announcer carries on talking, I'm expecting another player to come on, James. I'm like, oh hello, I'm going to be told something else. Oh no, that substitution was sponsored by somebody. So we're not long from finding out how much added on time there will be. In fact, 6 minutes at least of added on time, so a minimum of 6 minutes of added on time. And the added on time is also sponsored, James, you'll be pleased to know. Is there another goal in this game?
Sponsored?
Is anything not sponsored? Birmingham City player goes down on the right wing. Referee allows play to continue as Leonard turns it back to his goalkeeper. Long from Sarkic. Little slip from the chasing Fleming. Comes out to Longello. Longello forward to Buchanan, who's higher on Birmingham's left-hand side. Now the substitute with a really lovely cross into the 6-yard box. It just needed a player in blue to stretch out a boot, and nobody did, James. You would have loved to get on the end of one of those, wouldn't you?
Yeah, you just got to anticipate, you just got to gamble.
I'm just trying to work out who it was. I think it was Hogan who was closest to it. James was up there as well. Well, he would have been well aware what his instructions were when he came on. But time is running out for either of these sides to get a winner. Sorry, I say that cautiously, because I will repeat that Birmingham City have scored late goals in games recently. 96th minute winner from Jay Stansfield in their last league game. Ball with Longello again. McNamara at close range. Suggests that went out off the Birmingham City player last. Throw in from Buchanan. This time it does go out off a Birmingham City player. McNamara will take the throw. Those fans who are holding that note, James, are going to run out of breath in a minute. 2.5 minutes of the 6 minutes of added on time have elapsed. Ryan Leonard waits to take a throw in earshot of the Birmingham City manager, right in front of the home dugouts. Throw in is headed away and is rolled out of play.
Cooper comes up from the back. I think this will go in the box.
All 8'7" of Jake Cooper comes up. Are Birmingham City going to be surprised by the towering Millwall defender? Leonard with the throw. Well, Cooper tried to get there, but it's a player in blue turns it back to Leonard. Leonard with a cross back in that's blocked at close range by Longello. So another throw in for Leonard to take. Throws it short back to Esse. Sunderland have now scored a 5th at home against Southampton, so that's a big win for them at the Stadium of Lights against the Southampton side, who of course got relegated last season. Now bounces dangerously. Bradshaw tries to chase the ball that Ruddy collects instead. Ball out to Longello for Birmingham City on their left-hand side. 4 minutes of the 6 of added on time have elapsed. 1-1 at the moment here at St Andrews. But the home side putting on the pressure. Along comes Leonard to block the cross. The referee says that's a free kick. The Millwall defender entirely disagrees with Josh Smith. The home fans, though, sense, James Scowcroft, that there might be a chance from this late set piece.
Well, there is. It's a great opportunity here, probably better than a corner. Leonard just needs to play the game management, clear your lines. He tries to be a bit too clever. The referee reads it. And this is Birmingham's chance to win the game.
Miyoshi stands behind this free kick. Just one player in a Millwall wall, and it does its job perfectly. Well, the chance comes and goes. That was really poor, and it was Esse who he was a one-man Millwall wall, and it went straight at him.
Cannot get my head around that. The one thing that you have to do is get the ball in the box and miss the front man.
Buchanan with a throw, finds Miyoshi. Into the last minutes of added on time. So seconds left to play here. Drops back to Ruddy, can't touch it with his gloves because he's miles out of his goal. If a Millwall player gets this now, fancies a shot from distance, this could be a late winner. There's a twist of limbs in midfield. Fleming wins the free kick, and Suncic gets away with just talking to from the referee. Esse waits behind this free kick, not long to go here. 1-1 as things stand. Points will be shared here in Birmingham between these two championship sides. Leonard squares the free kick to Esse. The ball forward is headed away by Long. Miyoshi gets a touch to it for Birmingham City, and as it drops to Billy Mitchell, the referee says that will do, and it is a 5th successive draw between these two sides at St Andrews. Birmingham City's unbeaten start to the season continues, but Millwall share the points here. Nisbet from the free kick, giving Millwall the lead at half-time. Scott Hogan had a penalty saved just before the half-time whistle went, but then Jay Stansfield with his second goal in 2 games for Birmingham City in the league made it 1-1, and that's how it ended here at St Andrews. And it's finished Birmingham City 1, Millwall 1.
Earlier this afternoon, we brought you commentary of Millwall's draw at Birmingham City. They took the lead, thought they'd had a second, that was chalked off. Then they maintained their lead before the break with a penalty save from Sarkic. Birmingham City, though, got themselves an equaliser in the second half, and it was a share of the spoils. What were the thoughts after that game from Gary Rowett, the Millwall manager?
A draw again between these two teams. Was that fair, do you think, in the end?
I think it's fair in the end. I think if you look at the game and different parts of the game, I thought we dominated the first half as an away team. I was really pleased with that. I thought they were much better than us second half. I think sometimes when you're 1-0 down, you come out on the front foot and disappointed with the goal that we gave away. It comes from a throw-in. It's a simple position to defend, and we end up. It's a good finish from Stansfield, I think it was, but we shouldn't let him get into that position. So to end up 1-1 at that point so early in the second half, I think was really frustrating for us. But there was lots of good moments first half. I think the corner goal, the corner routine that we end up scoring from, disappointing. I think he probably was offside. I think the lads have said to me, well, I haven't seen it back, but he was offside. You know, maybe with a bit of fortune, you get that. They don't see the touch and you get it. And at 2-0, you've got that little buffer. And at 1-0, I just felt second half we just started to drop a little bit. We started to allow Birmingham to come on to us. And of course, they're chasing the game and they're chasing the win. So, yeah, I think in reflection, I think both managers will be pleased with one half, disappointed with the other half, probably go away with a point. I think we're both probably reasonably acceptant of that.
Yeah, a few big moments, as you say, in that first half. That what looked like a brilliant goal from Ryan Leonard, which unfortunately was ruled out for offside. And then right at the end of that first half, the penalty that you gave away, but then your goalkeeper then saves the resulting spot kick.
Yeah, that's what I say. Those 2 moments, I think, could have swung the performance, could have swung the result for either team. That's the championship. Sometimes you get a little bit of fortune, or sometimes you capitalise on an opposition mistake. But I don't think either team quite could do that. Neither team quite showed that cutting edge to be able to do it. But I think what we showed is two pretty solid, pretty good teams. Both probably less so Birmingham, but both just looking for that extra little bit to get them into the positions they want to be. So yeah, we go into the international break with a win at home last week against Stoke, a draw away to Birmingham. Am I a little bit disappointed? I am in some ways, because I felt as though if we'd have put our foot on the gas at 1-0, I thought the game was there for us to go and win. And I just felt by coming off it a little bit, we allowed Birmingham back into the game.